You're right.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to the In Cayman Podcast.
Thank you, bro. How you doing?
Good.
I feel like you should have asked me that, but I haven't seen you in a while, so I'm asking you.
No, it's true. We haven't actually had like a one-to-one in a while.
In quite a while.
Maybe since you finished your college piece. When was that, a year ago?
Nah, I seen you since then. No, man, that was longer than a year ago, because I graduated in 22.
You graduated in 22?
Yeah.
No, bro, 23. What are you talking about? When did we do that video?
22?
It was 22?
Yeah, December. I graduated December 2022.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But then because we did the video after that.
No.
We did it before you graduated?
Had to?
So all of 23 went by?
Yeah.
Since we did that video?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Wait, am I getting the dates wrong?
You know, it's been a while. That's the point.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So how did your teachers, because that was your college piece, right?
That was my final video that I had to do for the master's program.
And it was a master's program, and that was film and TV?
No, filmmaking.
Filmmaking.
The bachelor's was film and TV.
Huh, okay. And where was that again? England?
Yep, University of Bradford.
Where that is?
It is close to Manchester. It's north of London. It's like 5 hours north of London.
5 hours?
Yeah, it's way out there. It's in the Midlands. It's way out there.
So how was England?
The university was good. I didn't like living in England. I've said that many times. And my intention was to always come right back. That never changed. Even when the school tried to convince you that, things might change. Nope. Nope.
So why you didn't go to the US?
It was just too expensive.
Seeing.
So that was it. Like, everybody wants to go to the US, but unless you have US citizenship or permanent residency, that don't make no financial
So it's
sense.
just way cheaper in England, huh?
Way cheaper. It's
Right.
like 4 or 5 times cheaper.
Right. Huh.
Especially if you have British citizenship.
Right. And I guess that's what we're lucky to have as Caymanians.
Yes, some have British citizenship, some don't, but I think the government has a agreement over there that, if you're a British overseas territory citizen as well, you're supposed to get home rates, but not everywhere applies. But by the vast majority, they will apply. But like, for example, one of the universities I applied to didn't accept me as a British citizen when I applied as a Caymanian, or even when I applied my British passport, because they said that they couldn't prove that I lived in the UK for over 3 years.
Interesting.
And I couldn't get a bank account at the bank that I wanted for that exact same reason, even though I was a British citizenship.
Interesting.
Even though I had citizenship.
Interesting. So you got to prove a lot over there, and you couldn't prove it.
Not really. A lot. Like I said, it was just the off. It was like the other banks didn't ask me for that. They were like, "Oh, yep, bank account. Here you go." That one particular school, they wasn't having it.
Huh? And the other Caymanians were over there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So I think in my area they started out with 2. I think there was one
in your area, but not your school.
Yeah, in my school.
Oh, okay.
When I went there, how I noticed there was another Caymanian was because she was wearing a lanyard from the Celebrate Cayman committee.
Okay.
And for me, that immediately became this is how you identify a Caymanian overseas. So I came back and I asked Celebrate Cayman for a bunch of them. And every time I saw Caymanian, I just handed them out here so I can see you from a distance.
But wait, what's Celebrate Cayman? What that is?
Celebrate Cayman is the constitutional and coat of arms celebration that the government did for the 60th
Anniversary?
Anniversary.
When was that? The 60th anniversary?
Oh, that was probably a couple of years now.
Huh. Okay. So she was just wearing one on campus, and then you saw her?
She was just, like she had her student ID on it, and I was looking at it like, I got one! I got one!
So did you know her face before that?
Yeah, I knew her face before.
That's the thing about Caymanians, you always kind of know their face, even if you don't know them.
It happened to me in the reverse, where people came to the university after I was there, and they were from Cayman, and they recognized me, and they're like looking at me from a distance, and I'm like, what? Tom, are you looking at me like that for? And I just keep like walking, just ignoring it. And one day the guy actually stopped me. He's like, "Yo, I know you from home."
That's funny, man.
But the school was great, and at least the small community that I was in, it was different. But I really liked the university.
Huh? But you just didn't like England as a whole.
No.
Why not?
Because it's too different from Cayman. I island boy and I city boy.
Huh?
I just didn't like it.
Yeah. Like the food, the weather, the people.
The food. You get used to the weather. The weather's just always shit.
Yeah.
So I had a saying that if you look outside your window and it's sunny, the best way I describe it is the sun is on display, but it's not for sale. Right? So you might see the sun and you might think you're feeling the heat, and then you go outside and it is cold as can possibly be. So it's on display, but it's not for sale.
That's funny. You know, I remember I went skiing in Colorado and it was March and we were up in these hills, frozen tundra skiing.
Can you
But
imagine?
the sun is on full display.
Yeah, full display.
And like you even have to put sunblock on.
Yeah.
But it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
You know, that was pretty interesting.
But
yeah.
so yeah, you got used to it. The food was, as you know, horrible. But I lived in Bradford, which is a predominantly
Caribbean, West Indian?
No. Pakistani, Indian community.
So you have some good food
There was a
options?
lot of good Indian food. I give them that. Right.
I think I almost feel that that's what English people are known for, Indian food.
They're known for everything that they stole from all the other nations. They stole the curry from the Indians and they call it British curry. They stole the African teas and they call it British tea. Like that's what they did.
I find it ironic that they like curry, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
Honestly, the curry was good. I found ways how to survive as a student. I tried to do it differently than a lot of students, and it worked out for me. So that was good. But I didn't like being away from home. I love the Cayman Islands. I want to be here all the time. I don't mind going off travel and visiting and doing stuff, but I like to leave Cayman with a return ticket. Right. You know what I mean? Like I want to know that this is going to come to a natural end. I'm coming very soon.
Yeah, that's the Cayman.
I made that throughout university. Like I always had a return. Like you can have all the delays you want and all the strikes and okay, cool. These are my dates.
Yeah. It's a good feeling coming back and into the airport and going to that Caymanian line.
Yep.
It's always the shortest line and the quickest line.
All the time.
Yeah, man. You like you get like puffed up a little bit. Yeah, I came on in and this is my line.
You see them stand up in the line like, I know your knees hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when we were shooting the video, you weren't too keen on going back.
No.
You know, you still had to go back, I guess.
But I didn't though. It was for the graduation.
Oh, it's for the graduation you went back?
No, I didn't go back.
Oh, so you didn't even go back?
No, I didn't go back.
You just take the diploma and say.
Yeah, I was like, you can send it. And I'll receive it.
Yeah, you know, I think I did the same thing for my bachelor's. I didn't go to the
I didn't do none of them.
Graduation.
I didn't do not bachelor's or master's.
No, you just take the diploma and flex. Yeah, not wrong. I hear you on that. So you're back in Cayman now. So over a year.
Yeah, man, over a year.
So how's the film and TV?
Slow. I wanted to focus on it as a business, but I didn't like it as much. I love the film, but not being the filmer. You know, that just wasn't my strength. You know, there were parts that I could do, but I don't think it's enough to sustain a business, right? Because you gotta, like, as you know, a film degree don't mean nothing. Like I have a film degree, that don't mean that I'm good at filmmaking, right? I just have a understanding, and the parts of filmmaking, I thought I was gonna be into the camera part, and I am. Like I'm good at looking at like, that's a wicked camera,
right?
I don't think I would have made a good camera person, for very long,
right?
You know, it's a great job, it's interesting, but
it's all, you know, there's so many different roles. So which role do you think you would fit best in? I know you're not necessarily looking at it like that. Is it more producing? Is it more acting? Because I know you act. Yeah,
I don't mind. I wanted to do roles in front and behind the camera. The reason I picked film, I just wanted to get a degree. If I said that when I was going to the UK, I said I was going to get a degree that I could not get in Cayman. Right? So I still want to study in Cayman, but I wasn't going to pick a degree like law that I could get here in Cayman. So I said, if I go in away, I would pick something that I couldn't get. And I wanted to do film because it was kind of the one that you think, all right, people are like, no, you shouldn't do that, you know? And so I wanted to be stubborn. But I was really interested in it, and I still am interested in it.
Yeah.
But I picked it because it was something different.
Right.
When I was there, I had to do different parts of filming. So the project that we would have been most known for, because it aired, I was the director of photography. Mm-hmm. But it was a small team, so with small teams, everybody
doing everything.
Everybody doing
right.
what needs to be done. But the director, this guy Asim, he had a good connect at one of the local TVs, and so they were willing to air the product. So before we even did the project, the company had confirmed that as long as you produce a product, we're willing to air it. So
right.
that gave us the motivation to
complete something,
to make it. And so it came out good. But the most part that I found interesting was there was in the master's program, it's like a part where you could study how to essentially bring a film industry to a location. So that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
There was these different aspects, and when I heard them talking, I said, "Yeah, I want to learn about that part." And so that was kind of one of my final projects as well. Was I wanted to make it about Cayman, right? And so that's what I did when I was there, whether it was my bachelor's or whether it was the master's. It was either related. I did something related to the Caribbean or I did something related to Cayman. Mm-hmm. So in the bachelor's, there was a class called representation something. And so I did a project about like representation of calypso music, and I did this entire presentation of these different calypso songs, say like, look, this genre of music can represent so much, whether you're sad, you're angry, whatever it is, you can find it in calypso. And then when it came to the masters, I wanted to figure out what would be a good way to bring a film industry into a small community. And the program was tied in with UNICEF, so it had to meet all these UNICEF sustainability.
What UNICEF is again?
Good question. I didn't do that part. So you could have done the master's by itself, or you could have done the master's program under like a UNICEF scholarship. But whether you did the UNICEF scholarship or not, the master's program was based on these fundamental principles. So I didn't do the UNICEF because I wasn't planning on working in the UK, industry. And so I was going to come home. So I just said, listen, I'll do the program. And
it's a United Nations organization, humanitarian aid organization.
It is. But they have these sustainability, I think it's like 14 of them, 14 goals. And so you had to incorporate a few of them, or as much as you can, into your project as well.
Well, I love the idea of what you were talking about, that they were like, how do you start a film industry in Cayman? Because literally every single filmmaker in Cayman thinks about that, discusses that.
Of course.
Wishes for that, would like to know that the politicians are aiming towards that, but you never think about studying that, which makes a lot of sense. Was there sort of anything there that you learned that you're like, you know what? We don't got this. We need to try and implement this.
Yeah, but when I was doing it, like I said, I was doing it kind of focused on Cayman. And it became very clear that when you're looking at bringing a film industry, you have to not just think of the industry. You have to think of the community that you're bringing the industry to. So you got to look in the community. And, you might have a community that has a lot of restaurants and bars. And these places needs patrons.
Right.
So if you're bringing a film crew, those companies are going to be quite happy with you bringing a lot of people.
Right.
But then if you're bringing it to a small community who probably prefers their peace and quiet, they might not want a film crew of 300 people.
So
it was about finding, well, what do people think they want? As in the filmmakers, what do the community think they can manage?
And finding that balance.
Finding the middle ground. So
that makes sense, because, filmmakers are they don't care. When they're shooting on a location, they don't care who
Yes.
The producers generally have to worry about the landlords, but by the time
the filmmakers, we don't care.
Yeah, they just trample through. They shoot.
You told us we have 4 hours to be here. Don't waste none of this 4 hours.
They don't say hi to nobody. It's like boom, 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 and then they're out. So I can see that they would annoy people in the community sometimes.
Of course,
yeah.
But it's the art of negotiating, right? Maybe a one-off project is not worth it. Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to defend the project, whether you for or against it. If you say, hey, I don't think this project is a good project, okay, then make your case. That let your voice be heard. But it could be that the decision makers go, well, we're willing to risk it. At that point, you can't do nothing about that. You're like, all right. That's still my industry. That's still what I want to see grow.
So how do you feel about the Cayman film industry?
I don't have much opinion. I've worked on a few sets, as you know, because you hired me for them. And there were some that I really liked and some that not so much.
All right.
I don't remember the name of the one that was in West Bay.
Which one that was again, though? Was it a movie or
it was a movie.
A photo shoot?
It was a movie.
You worked on or was it the reality show? Because you worked on a reality show
I did
too.
the reality show too.
But it was the movie one that you worked on.
It was the movie one that was really
so that would have
nice.
been with Dennis Quaid. What I want to call again? No, I can't believe I don't know if he was there that day.
The guy from Josh Hutcherson was in it.
Yeah, he was in it too.
Yeah. That one, I really enjoyed the work experience from that, other than they stole something from me, but
What do you mean they stole from you?
You don't remember they had this scandal, somebody was going in people's cars and stealing stuff, and they steal stuff off the set.
Yeah, something.
So again, that's another one thing you have to consider when you bring in,
all these people?
Yeah, all these people in.
Right. There's just so much going on. There's so many moving parts.
What was the name of that show again? Movie.
Gee whiz,
it was like
I
a
can't
futuristic.
It was.
I'd really, really, really enjoyed working on that set.
So I can't believe I'm just throwing a blank at it. Yeah, Dennis Quaid is in that one. Josh Hutcherson.
That girl from the horror movies that you saw her as a child, but now she's kind of grown up.
Isabel,
yeah.
Furman?
Something like that.
Yeah. Wow, I can't believe I can't remember the name of that movie. People would be so disappointed in me. The first one was Little Mouth.
Yes, Little Mouth. Yeah. I really, really enjoyed working on Little Mouth. Really, honestly.
What were you? You were with the camera team, or who were you? No,
I think you had moved me around a couple of times. No, but primarily I was under Tony and Tony Chisholm. I enjoyed working. with Tony.
Oh yeah, you were with the 80s.
I'm sure there were points where Tony absolutely hated me, but I really liked working with Tony. I thought she was good and like understanding, but also firm, which I thought was really, really amazing.
Actually, I thought that department fit you best. Actually,
AD?
Now that I remember, because now I can remember hearing you and Tony talk. Because I remember we shot at Georgetown Yacht Club. You were there that day.
Yeah.
And I remember you being very helpful because of the other boats that were coming in while we were filming.
That wasn't being helpful. That's y'all making fun of me. Y'all sick. Because I was out there referring stuff by directions. Like, there it is coming out the east. And they're it's like, where's east?
But I remember like other people weren't pointing that out, that we had a limited time because we got another boat coming. But then I remember you chime in and say, oh, we got another boat coming. We're like, okay, so we were more aware. And I think that was like one of your first days too. So I thought you were doing a good job for, your first day.
But yeah, Little Mouth, I really enjoyed the level of organization and everything on Little Mouth. I really, really enjoyed it. And it was hard work. Like, I was tired when I was done.
Yeah.
And it
12-hour days at least.
I call the role like the hired help, right? You're not the director. You're not anybody. You're just the hired help. Go pick this up. Go move that.
Right.
And I found it fulfilling. Like, I thought it was great.
Yeah. I think even the little guys can be the heroes someday, depending on what happened that particular day, But those days are long. Those days are really long working on those films. And definitely at the end of the day, you feel like you earned your money,
You felt fulfilled.
You felt fulfilled.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's Little Mouth by Jonathan Sobel. So Jonathan was the writer and director.
That was the Canada crew.
That was what?
The Canada crew that came in? That was them?
Yeah, the Canadian crew. Yeah. Jonathan's Canadian. Yeah, the director. He also directed The Baker. Did you end up seeing that one?
No, I must admit I have, but I really do want to see it. I know that they made a couple memes about it, but
yeah, Ron Perlman was in that one. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one. I like that one. We saw that one at the cinema here in Cayman. Completely filmed in Cayman, which is pretty interesting to see. And it was completely filmed in Cayman, but also it didn't take place in Cayman, which was interesting. You know, so I think it shows that you can actually film a whole movie here and it not take place here. Mm-hmm. You know, I think Little Mouth is going to be the same too, because Little Mouth, I don't think Cayman was mentioned in that. It wasn't in Cayman that movie took place. So we shall see. But that one's still to come out, you know?
I'd really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, man, those were...
And then we did the Marnie shoot, which was a photography shoot.
Yeah.
That was new. Like, I was willing to do it because, you know.
All right.
But I never thought, okay, I guess photographers travel too. Like, I was like, all right, cool. Like,
yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Because, you know, you think a movie, you think of a big crew. But when you think of a photo shoot, you don't think of a big crew. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's a huge crew.
I remember not helping. I remember being in a very, very small scene for Frankie's Cisco commercial.
That's true, you were.
Yeah, I remember that. I love that.
And you were in front of the camera?
I was in front of the camera. For 4, maybe 5 seconds. So don't say like, oh, you were in front of the camera. Like, you know, there's...
Hey,
I was in a computer screen.
People in front of the camera always get more respect than people behind the camera. So... even though your final shot was only for a couple of seconds, you were there for like an hour or two as we were actually filming. And we had the green screen behind you. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was 2021. That was like a year after, not even a year after the pandemic.
That was in COVID.
Pretty much we were still in COVID.
That was the first thing, first shoot that happened.
Second. Frankie had did another one for, it was, what the heck was that one? It was about COVID. We filmed that like in June or maybe it was September 2020. But then that was like the first big one, I think, after COVID. Yeah, the Cisco shoot. That was fun. Yeah. So what are you saying? What are you up to in Cayman nowadays? Now you've been here a year.
Yeah, man.
You worked a couple of shoots, a couple of films.
Yeah, I work with Radio Cayman.
How's that going?
It's great.
What are you doing there?
I'm a news reporter, but I primarily focus on court, and it's the part of news that I like because I worked at Cayman 27 before. And there were parts of news that I didn't like, but Radio Cayman, it was already a part of my everyday life. I know some people have different thoughts of it, but I personally love Radio Cayman, and it was already a part of my everyday life. And I think there was someone who was leaving, and they had an opening, and so I was able to work with them for a few months, and it eventually became permanent.
Cool.
And I was happy with it because, like I said, I like Radio Cayman, and I was focusing on the part of news that I like.
Which is what?
Court. I really enjoyed going to court and hearing the court. It's like so much things that happened in Cayman. It was an untapped vine, if you would. Like, not a lot of people were going. Carol from the Compass, God rest her soul, used to be the
Carol Winker?
Carol Winker.
I see they have a scholarship for her.
No, good.
In her name.
Good. There's also a chair at the courthouse in her name.
Really?
Yeah. You can't sit in it. Well, you can sit in it, but because of the part that they put her name on, it's in metal, and so the end of it is quite sharp. So if you sit, it might tear your shirt.
So you tried to sit in that chair then, and you felt it.
Yeah, definitely. Because I didn't know, actually. I didn't realize that her name was on it. But yeah, she was one of those persons who really took court seriously. And like I said, working with Cayman 27, court was one of the more interesting parts of Cayman 27 to me. So
when you were in Cayman 27, you were doing court reporting too?
No, I was a general news reporter, but sometimes it required me to go to court.
Right. So you're saying you like court because you feel like it just there's so much going on there that people don't realize?
Absolutely.
So are you allowed to actually report what's happening in court? Aren't some court proceedings private?
Yes. The ones that are private, I'm usually not allowed in. or if I am allowed in, we get specific instructions. Like, for example, you can't report what's called legal arguments when the lawyers want to discuss with the judge one-on-one. As a press, I'm allowed to be in there because you're allowed to report on legal arguments after the fact. So if a case is going on, there may be things that the lawyers want to agree on or come to some understanding on. That doesn't take place in front of the jury, right? A jury trial. As a news reporter, I can only report what takes place in front of the jury.
Right.
So if it doesn't happen in front of the jury, it happens in closed court or in chambers.
You can't report on that.
You can't report on it at the time, but sometimes you can report on it after. So, for example, if there's legal arguments, like they want to do a halftime case dismissal and the defense says, I don't think the prosecution has enough to make a case, they may make an application to dismiss the case. That happens in legal arguments. And if they win that legal argument and the case is dismissed, I can then report, hey, this case was dismissed. It was won, in legal arguments. But you don't report legal arguments. You don't report anything that identifies victims or persons connected to victims. And yeah.
So you're in there every day, or what?
Yes, every day.
And so, does it range from types of cases?
Yes, everything.
Anything.
In the year that I've been with Radio Cayman, I've sat in child rape cases, murder cases, grievous bodily harm, indecent assault.
Wow, that's a lot of heavy stuff.
Yeah, it is. And it's sometimes hard to write. And like I said, there are parts that you can't discuss or give me a minute. I have to respond to somebody.
No worries. I wouldn't like to be in court for something and see you there. You know what I mean?
That's also a problematic because that has come up before. But why you say that?
I just know. I mean, if I was in court, I wouldn't want nobody reporting about it.
Oh, well, sucks to be you.
Yeah.
Can
you guys give me some privacy in court? Can we just handle this?
No, but there's certain things that are private, family matters, the media aren't permitted in. Closed civil court, the media aren't permitted.
What's closed civil court?
Civil court is like civil disputes, but there's certain things that happen in open court, and then there's certain things that are closed court.
Why? What's the difference?
Closed court is in front of the presence of the judge only. Open court means that the public is permitted.
And there's a jury on those?
Not all the time. Sometimes it can be a judge alone trial.
Even though it's open court?
Even though it's open court.
So what determines the difference between open and closed?
It could be the level of sensitivity of the matter at hand. In terms of family, a family is a private matter. You wouldn't expect somebody to air their dirty laundry, in public. And so I guess the court as well would not want to seem complacent in airing such matters.
So then when you get, so what you do, you go there.
Yes.
You listen, you record, you write.
No, there's
no recording.
No recording. You can type, you can write, but there's no photography, there's no recording, there's none of that. And then you go back and you write a piece, and then you deliver it to air. I don't listen to Radio Cayman that often. I understand.
Yeah.
I do. I record.
It's nothing about Radio Cayman. I just don't even listen to the radio that much anymore. Yeah.
I go and I sometimes record from the courthouse because I walk with my microphone.
Right. So it's like Jevaughnie Ebanks reporting live or reporting at the courthouse today.
Like if there's I sat in both of the last two McKeeva trials.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like the recent one.
The recent one and the one before.
And what can you say about those?
Oh, I've said a lot about it. It was certainly an interesting.
The one that he got acquitted recently, like last week.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were in on those.
Yeah, I was in it for this for its entirety.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting trial just to like watch it. Certainly had a lot. It was a serious case, so you want to treat seriously the gravity of the charges, but at the same time, it certainly just. If you were just sitting in there watching it, it certainly had its entertaining.
Right, I'm sure.
Entertaining moments.
Right. Despite the gravity of it.
Despite the gravity of it.
Huh. So, and he was acquitted. Was that a surprise when it happened?
No.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah, the prosecution's case was rather weak.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. And what was the case before that with him?
Yes, it's been released now. So, funny enough, that case we could not speak on. It was embargoed because that case, the judge had made a ruling in it, but this case that he just got acquitted on was coming up, and so they embargoed the first one. The first one. So we couldn't report on it. We couldn't speak on it. We couldn't even get the judgment until the other case had concluded because they didn't want to like prejudice a jury and stuff like that.
I see.
So, but that was a well publicized one, of inappropriate, like, touching at a local hotel.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I remember that one now. That was at
Ritz.
Where?
The Ritz.
Oh no, I thought it was the beach one out there. Across.
No. I didn't sit on that one.
What that beach called again?
Coral Beach. Right?
Coral Beach. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like for the last 10, 15, 20 years, he's just been in and out of court. It's kind of like Trump. There's always some other case being filed against this top politician.
Yep.
So how long was that case with McKeeva? Are you sure you're allowed to be? I feel like, we're going to get a cease and desist that we're talking about this.
I think it went for a week or just over a week. Probably 8-9
For the whole case?
Yeah.
That was pretty short.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
They had delays and stuff, but I think it was scheduled for.
So what's McKeeva's role in government right now?
He's the parliamentary secretary to one of the ministries.
What does that mean?
He's a backbencher.
Okay.
He's like the assistant. I wouldn't say it like that. You have the minister, and then you have like some. What do they call him? In previous governments, they had called them counselors. Almost like a deputy minister kind of role. Okay.
So are there even parties right now? I feel like everything's all mixed up.
PPM is the longest running party.
I mean, are they like majority right now in government?
No, they're opposition.
They're opposition. Yeah. So who's like the people in power then?
The independents.
The independents. So there's no party in power. It's like a smorgasbord.
Yeah, that's how it's sold. They're a group of independent mind thinkers. Right. I think is how it's. So, but they go under a name, so it's hard to make the distinction between a party and not a party.
But before that, Wayne Panton was premier, right? Mm-hmm. And that
same thing. It was the same set of independents.
Really? Oh, okay, yeah. I thought it was his party because he's not PPM, right?
No. Yeah. He was, but he's no longer.
Yeah. Interesting. So at Radio Cayman, that's all you do, court stuff?
No, I mean, other things as needed. Like I worked throughout the hurricane, so I was stationed at the government building throughout the hurricane.
For Beryl?
For Beryl, yeah.
Cool. So you were actually at the GAB for the hurricane?
I was.
Do they have like beds and stuff there?
Cots.
Nice. Nice.
Like sleeping in a military camp.
Nice. I would imagine there was a lot of people there in the building.
I couldn't tell you how much because I could only recall like what was on the level. I'm sure the vast majority of the building was empty, but certainly the second floor had a fair amount of people.
So the news people were there?
No, I think I was the only news that was in there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I would have felt safe in there.
And I guess Department of Comms as well.
Right, that makes sense too, I guess. Okay, so you never on air or anything like that?
Yeah. I went live for Radio Cayman, and I also did live for Department of Comms, the GIS. I was broadcasting live for them as well.
Okay, and just news reporting?
No. Doing interviews with NEOC, the team that was there, doing general updates throughout the night.
What's a NEOC?
National Emergency Operating Center.
I see. Yeah. Beryl, that came and went, thankfully. Hopefully we don't got no more. We shall see. How old were you when Ivan hit?
Ivan, 2004. I was young, man. I must have been between 6 and 9.
So you don't really remember it?
No. I remember leaving. I was here for Ivan, but I left after. And I went to school in Jamaica.
Really?
Yeah.
Where? Kingston?
Kingston, yeah.
Why? I mean, I know why. because we couldn't do nothing here for months.
Correct. So,
but why Jamaica? A lot of people went to the BRAC.
My mom's from Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she still have family in Jamaica, and I was enrolled in the school that my cousins were going to. I don't think the school exists anymore.
And how long were you in Jamaica for?
I think it was one school term or two. I can't remember.
Huh. And what was that? Do you remember anything about that?
Yeah, I remember going to school. It was fine. It served me well. I think when I came back to Cayman, I ended up moving up a grade.
Okay.
Shortly after, and yeah, it served me well. It was fun. It was hot. It was Jamaica, so
not like it hotter than Cayman.
Yeah, it is. It is because the buildings don't have AC. All of them.
Okay, sure. Now you're onto something. Okay,
so
fair.
that was sorry, this probably gonna mess up your audio. That was the thing I didn't like about the UK as well. The UK, a lot of the buildings in the UK, even government-run buildings, don't have central air conditioning. Like you just got to open up the windows. Like it's
Yeah, I mean in them cold parts of the world, they don't got AC.
Yeah.
I was in Milwaukee too.
But remember, it's not cold all year round. Like summer, it's blistering hot.
I get it. I was in Milwaukee for grad school, and I started in January, so it was freezing. I went home in May, still cold. Mm-hmm. I came back for my second semester in August, and I was horrified at how hot it was.
Yes.
I was mad.
Yes.
I was like,
Thankfully, I didn't have to experience the UK summer because I traveled back twice a school year. I came back every summer and every Christmas.
All right.
I was in and out.
But I remember being shocked that they didn't have AC.
Me too.
I actually had to buy an AC unit from Craigslist and install this thing in Milwaukee because it was just too hot. It was just too hot during the summer. Yeah, I guess, that's the good thing about Cayman. But, when I was growing up, we didn't have AC.
Yeah.
Well, most places didn't have AC.
But when you went to like main buildings, like government buildings and hospitals and supermarkets, they had AC.
Yeah, true. They had it first before residentials and stuff had it. Yeah. I remember when we were in school, we didn't have AC. The first class that had AC was IT.
Hey, you showing your age now.
Yeah, there you go.
You talking about going to school. I can't remember going to school without AC.
I remember. It was only IT that had AC. For the computers, quote unquote, the computers needed the AC.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in primary school, the first school bus to have AC, we had it. It came in towards the end.
Wow.
Yeah, the first school bus.
Huh. Yeah. So what's the plan? You stay at Radio Cayman for a bit? Hang out there for a bit? You want to do your own thing, or?
Honestly, I don't know what I want to do. I feel torn. I still am interested in seeing, how the film industry is going to progress. I'd like to use my degree, even if in a minor way, somehow. I'm also happy to work for Radio Cayman because I say it's an important company to me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know I still want to do studies, but I don't know, I don't know what I want to do. I know I certainly know things that I like and things that I don't like. But what is the path? I don't know. I just know the path is here.
All right. What, in Cayman?
Yeah.
But you say you want to do more studies?
Yeah, for sure.
You already got a master's. What are you trying to go do now?
Law.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because I could do it here.
What, Truman Button?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that makes sense for you.
Oh, gosh.
That makes sense for you. Ain't nobody going to say that don't make sense for you. Yeah. Okay. And then you figure out what you do with that?
No, I just wanted to do that for me. I just wanted the understanding of how the law is applied. I don't intend to practice, at least, and I just want a degree. I want to study.
You want the knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you on that. That's often overlooked.
It's never, as I view it, it's never a wasted degree. So
yeah, I mean, I did a whole theology degree for that same reason, just because I wanted it.
Yeah.
And everybody always asks me, "So what are you gonna do with that?" Nothing. It's for me.
I did film. I'm not guaranteed to use it. I find it weird because I think I had this discussion with you earlier. You don't have to go to school to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Right? I went to school and technically I was supposed to inherit the title filmmaker at the end of the course. That was at least that was how they sold the master's program.
Right. You would be a filmmaker by the time you leave.
And no, you would inherit the title according to them. So like I use it, but I don't really.
What do you mean you like put filmmaker at the end of your name?
No. Like if I have to do a bio, it would include and filmmaker.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I didn't study film.
Yeah, look at that. And you're 10 times a better filmmaker than I am.
Oh, I just have more experience, that's all. Yeah, that's the funny thing about them degrees, you know. So
I found it pretty useful, you know. I like I said, I really liked my university. I liked how it was set up. That was one of, you know, every university has the things that they're known for. That was one of the degrees that particular university was known for.
Right.
Like you could tell, like when you go on the campus, which building is for which. Like that building is for pharmacy, right? That's because they take pharmacy seriously. And then this one is, you know, engineering and informatics, and that one is business and law. So, you know, those are the 3 areas that the university took serious, or whatever was there.
Yeah, man. University was fun, man.
So
those were good times.
So I don't know. Maybe you'll call me for more film gigs and I might be available.
Yeah, definitely.
Or maybe not. You know, we'll see.
No, I definitely. Like I said, I think as an AD, I think that's a perfect position for you. You know, because I think you're good with people, and then you have a loud, clear voice, and you can sort of direct people and get them to follow you and stuff like that. As an AD, I think is super important. You know, but maybe like you're saying with the camera team, not so much. You know, camera teams tend to be more introspective.
I had like working with the camera team, like, you know, carrying the camera, seeing, that's why you're using that setting.
No, it is interesting, for sure.
I absolutely hate grips. So if you ever call me with a grip job, I'll hang up before you finish your sentence. I absolutely hated grip.
That's torturous.
I'd never do it. Like, you know, I think it is a noble part of filmmaking.
Sure.
You know, you need electricians, you need gaffers and all of that, but that ain't me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to see more, you know, more film projects in a sense, you know.
Yeah. You know, Frankie's shooting the Bluff right now in Australia.
Mm-hmm. I heard about it, but I must admit, I don't know much about it. I saw the news article about it. I don't know what the project is.
It's a cool project. I read the script. It's really, really good. It's really good. It's going to be the Caymanian film. It's going to be...
Is it about Cayman?
Yes.
And it's not being shot in Cayman?
Yes, correct.
Why is that?
We're going to bring Frankie on here and ask him. I mean, I'm sure there's legitimate reasons. Resources, costs, rebates, you know, all sorts of...
It certainly can't be rebate, because he's on the film commission that organized the rebate that we currently have. So you got to tell me he created a rebate he can't use? Come on now.
I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe you can't. Maybe there's a conflict of interest there. Maybe there's a better rebate in Australia.
That I can. That I can see.
Yeah.
But
that one kind of hurt that we didn't get to film that here, because we always knew that was coming, and so we always kind of assumed that it would be filmed here. So yeah, that one kind of hurt.
I'd like to see more range and less. Let's try this.
What do you mean?
I don't think everything we need to try.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I think, well, anyways, I think if it's more catered to Cayman and what Cayman is looking for, then I feel it'll be more beneficial. But I don't think all projects are worth it. Even if they may have some beneficial value,
right,
when they happen.
Interesting. I mean, I think that's why the Film Commission Board exists. You know, they sort of look through the project, the script. They've denied film permits before. So
honestly, I can't say much about the Film Commission, because I don't know how someone submits to the Film Commission. I don't know what criterion they're using to make the decision. I just know that, you know, the board exists and Frankie's the head of it.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. I think he's been the best board member by far. by far. They actually have a rebate program in place, which is huge. That just never existed, and as much as we tried to make that happen, it just couldn't happen. But
I'd be interested to know what the uptick is
in terms of what
people taking up the rebate offer.
You mean if people have done it?
Yeah, and the rebate. People asked for the rebate. The government then created a rebate. Is the rebate doing what it said it was going to do? Is it bringing film projects here? When's the last time you did a film project?
Just in general, or what do you mean? Like we filmed a short film?
I mean, true, like the film commission of a project they brought in.
March. Yeah, it's been a couple months.
Which one was in March?
It was a documentary on turtles.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they have, the film commission, they have, it can be anywhere from 15% to 35% rebate. 15% is the minimum, which is great. If it's a reality show, you get an extra 10%.
Yeah.
If Cayman is explicitly set in Cayman, you get another 5% back. If it's a positive portrayal of Cayman, you get another 5% back. And then there's other sort. If you shoot in the sister islands, you get another 5% back. So if you hit all those marks, it can go up to 35%.
35%.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And the minimum spend is $250K to qualify for the rebate.
Cayman dollars or US?
Yeah, let's assume either way.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested in seeing more uptick. I hope that it was designed to take in more, and that companies overseas are taking it up. I think it's going to be a difficult, slow grow. I would like to see more. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'd like to see more involvement on like a Cayman level of the talent that are here.
Me too.
To figure out what they want. Like as you know, because I worked on it, I didn't like the reality show that was here in Cayman.
No,
I believe it had benefit. I don't know what the long-term benefits would be, but certain like I could point out and say I had like working on Little Mouth.
Right.
Without a doubt, I can go like I like this.
Right. Reality show, not as much.
That reality show, not as much.
Why?
Because there just wasn't any true professionalism.
You mean
what job site you go on and the person bringing their friggin' dog?
I don't know.
Exactly. What I'm saying is if we're going to build a film industry in Cayman, that film industry should operate like any other industry. There's a set of like professionalism and working standard. It just felt a little too just being made up on the spot. Like as you, I believe there was benefit. Like for example, I was, what do you call it? That position?
PA?
Mm-hmm. Labor intensive as it gets.
Yeah.
I thought it was great, but in general, like I just didn't feel like there was much organization. And maybe that was because of the format that it was. But to me, the biggest thing was the professionalism on the working side. And then I didn't like some of what I saw. And I'd kind of leave it at that. But I wouldn't go to say that they had no benefit.
Yeah.
I personally didn't like it. I'm sure they felt the same way about me, and that's absolutely fine. I became friends with some of them towards the end of the set, particularly persons who I didn't get along with at the beginning. But what I had liked about it, which to me was the greatest part of it, was as the main team had to leave to go back, there were people who had to fill their spots. And I remember seeing like Antonio Angel. He became one of the main key persons. I had really liked to see like Joel Lawson was one of the main camera guys. That I like. But I certainly didn't care for the image that it portrayed. I didn't care for the content that it was. I thought from the clip, I didn't watch it, but from the clips that I saw, I thought it was certainly well shot, as in Cayman looked good. You know, I had people come up and say, Jerry, I saw your name at the end of this. I said, I'm surprised they even put my name on it. I didn't even know if I wanted my name on it, but I was certain that I was lower down on the rank, that, you know, maybe that name wouldn't be included. But I think there's a lot that Cayman can accommodate, but I think that was a key example of a project that I don't know how much consideration for the Cayman community was taken. It was said, oh, well, you know, it's Sean and Sean's on the board. I didn't even know who Sean was. Like, you put his man in a lineup. I couldn't pick Sean out of a line. They're like, oh, that's Sean. He's the one who bring the project. Okay, good. And he's Caymanian. Okay, good. Glad the Caymanian brought a project.
Right.
But so what? That doesn't mean that the project is good. Like, I appreciate the work experience that I got from it, because it taught me that I don't want to do something like that again, you know? And on a professionalism side, I didn't like it. And it was even a learning curve on a professionalism side for me, because there were a couple of times, like, of one particular mistake that I really recall, that, like, shit, yeah, you gotta, you know?
Right.
You gotta be a little bit more focused here, but it's... I know. I had spoken with you about it, and you didn't give a shit about how Cayman could look. You just wanted the project happen, and I get it too. Like, that's your role in the
scheme
mix.
of things.
Yeah, but I personally didn't care for it.
I know. I think sentiment was split on the project. For me, a project's a project. You know, I appreciate all projects.
But that's where I came down. It's like, I'm willing to say what is good about the project.
Yeah.
But the problem is, when you start to say what is good about the project, and then you come up and say, hey, this is what I don't like about it. All of a sudden, then they say, oh, you hating. Oh, you doing this. Oh, you're just trying to find. No, I'm happy to say, like, listen, I like to see Joel and Antonio and them working. Yes, I had like that.
Yeah.
But there was just bullshit about it that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, I thought some of it was really good, in terms of, I didn't realize how something that, when you look at the final product, looks so remarkably simple, how much equipment it actually takes to look. And that was one of the things I like learning from it. But the people didn't really give a shit about Cayman, or they didn't care. I remember doing things that, on any other film set, you would have probably said, all right, the PA wouldn't do that. That's probably another. The PA would just kind of go along with it. But I wasn't gonna do it. Like, okay, like, no, like that's to me what was the big problem. There was an absolute lack of professionalism. You got people who are managers of people, and they're bringing their dog on their chest and caring for this dog like it's a child. It's like, oh no, I gotta go and leave early to go and walk my cat. Are you kidding me? How the hell? What job you could go and bring your animals to? It just didn't feel serious.
Well, I hope we get a season 2.
I hope so too.
It doesn't sound like it.
No. So what? So something can happen and something bad happens. You say, okay, we gonna learn from this and do it better.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's all.
Yeah.
I'm sure that even if that project, I can say, whether I was on it or not, the kind of content is not the content I'm into.
Yeah.
Okay? But if it was a great boom-ass workforce that you know will come in again, they told you, or it was said that this was going to be the door opener for all the projects. This was once people see you do a reality show, the floodgates are going to open.
I hope so.
Okay. And so, all right, cool. That sounds like a good reason to do it.
Right.
Then it started to get closer to the release, and they say, listen, you know, it's getting hype up. You see all the social media advertisements. You know, it's going to be good. The hype up was there.
It was there.
It was there.
Yeah.
And then the show came out.
And did you watch all the episodes?
No, I didn't.
Did you watch any of the episodes?
Parts of the episodes. I didn't watch any of them in their entirety. Because like I said,
it doesn't sound like you wanted to.
No, I didn't. Because that's not the kind of content I'm into.
Sure.
I'm not into those reality.
I mean, not everyone's into reality.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone wants to watch it, appreciates
it.
The
hype was there. And as the show started to roll out, I started to look at social media, the different websites writing about it. It didn't seem to be gaining any traction. And then people start, really kind of ticked me off. They said, boy, you know, if by the third episode, you not hear that it announced for a second season, then, you know, it failed. I'm like, how do we know that? How I don't know. I haven't heard any talk that there's a second season. Have you heard anything?
Not yet. Not yet. But, so, you know, fingers are crossed.
So for all that was said,
we want 10 seasons out of this, bro.
Yes, absolutely. For all that was said and what we would see in the immediate aftermath of this project, I just haven't seen any of it.
Yeah.
Any of it yet. And so if there's a season 2, and I know that more Caymanian filmmakers are going to get more experience.
That's the thing.
Absolutely. But I'm not going to pretend like because of
that
the
you're going to work on it.
No, I'm not going to pretend that because there is a benefit to Caymanian workers that means that everything is okay. It's just some things on it that not that not okay. Like I was happy, like I tell you, to see the experience that people got, especially as people from the main team were, you know, starting to head back because the project was, you know, starting to come.
Yeah, they got like what's it called when you move up in work?
Natural progression.
No, man, like you get a promotion.
Oh yeah, they got a little.
Yeah, a little bump. That was cool. Definitely.
I like that.
They deserved it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what we want. I didn't see
anybody who was there who started as a PA who were doing something else who didn't deserve it. Right. And they thought that, like I remember looking at Joel like, yo, that's a good Cayman.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah, man.
Videographer or filmmaker, and you know, but that don't mean I gotta like everything.
Yeah, sure.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what this whole podcast world is about, is being able to talk and express, and not everyone agrees, but the point is that you can disagree and still be all right. Mm-hmm. You know, we all make our comments, and I think there's room life is fine.
I think there's room for reality show and maybe not that kind, but
I think so too.
I think there's a lot of reality game shows, adventure shows.
You not heard about Survivor Cayman?
Yeah, I know about it.
You heard about that?
Yeah, the person had originally contacted me when it was just an idea, and right. At the time I really couldn't help him at that time. But right. I remember hearing the idea. Obviously, that was around the time that I was in school.
Right, right.
I remember thinking, yeah, this is a kind of reality show that can happen in Cayman and be a benefit, because all these stuff, these are built. You pack them up and fill planes, and you bring the sets wherever you want to go. You know, and I hope that that Survivor project. I hope it does well. I'm interested to see what that final project. I think at the time when he had mentioned it to me,
who's he?
Oh God.
Joseph Bates.
I think that's him. Yeah.
Because he was the one that spearheaded the whole project.
At the time when he came to me about, like I said, it was just an idea. I don't think he even wanted to do.
He was the guy that was on Mar Road. Remember Manama Sandra? Remember the Manama Sandra thing?
No.
You don't remember that? With this guy. This guy was on Mar Road talking about how he had met his helper. He's from Australia. He had moved to Cayman. He met his helper, and his helper was Jamaican, and she must have said, "My name is Sandra." Oh. And he interpreted as, "My name is Manama Sandra."
Manama Sandra.
So he ends up, it was big on.
I have an idea what he's talking about.
Yeah. That was Joseph. So he that was funny because it took him like months to realize that her name was actually Sandra, not Manama Sandra. Manama Sandra. So he had somebody visit him and tell him that, actually I just found out her name is Sandra.
I remember meeting him about it, and like I said, I really thought it was a good idea because I felt it was like a safe enough project that it wouldn't piss off the Cayman community. It was something that, you can even get contestants from Cayman, this stuff.
We filmed it. He filmed it it was a couple of months ago.
I remember.
Bruce and Shamila were like the head of production.
How did it come out?
It's still being edited, but I loved the content. I happened to be behind the camera.
Yeah.
And it was like all people from Cayman, that were part of the show. It was only one person who had flown in just to be as part of it, but to see the Caymanian dynamic,
of course,
that exist, and then you had the expats and the Caymanian dynamic, and all of that. I mean, there were so many cool stories and plot twists in Survivor Cayman.
Mm-hmm.
I
think he said it was supposed to be like a competition or something that they were sending off to be a part of, or
I'm not sure about the long-term thing of it,
or is YouTube.
He did a good show. Yeah. Joseph did a really, really good show. He was the host of it.
Okay.
So he was the host. Bruce and Shamila did a great job as, head of production in terms of filming and in terms of miking everybody. It was so interesting to...
Now that you say that, like, I remember talking to him and I was saying, like, in terms of what you're looking to do, even though in this particular area I can't help you at this particular time, like, overall, I wouldn't have been able to help you with that part because I don't have the necessary equipment and stuff like that. But, and I remember saying, like, you can definitely find people here that can do it. So I would like to see a show like that, Survivor, happening for like a full season.
Me too.
In Cayman.
Me too.
And I'll say it openly, 10 out of 10. I'd rather a Survivor show like that any day other than a reality show. They're both reality shows, but one is just better content.
There you go. No, Joseph, he did a very good job with it. I'm proud of him. He produced a show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the actual competition too, like with, because they're like, so they have to do all this competition and stuff. And, they're like double crossing each other and all of this that was happening. It was fascinating, actually. He did a great job. I can't wait. And the competitors, the people that were actually like competing for it, I think they were all great too. So I look forward to seeing the final project. That's the thing. I think, we want the community to grow. I think some of us, we're a little like, why didn't the Bluff film here? Why is it in Australia? But I think at the end of the day, like projects like this, we have to keep producing. We have to keep producing our shows here. That's it. Let's shoot Awesome Man. We filmed that a couple weeks ago. We filmed Survivor Cayman. Like everyone does it. We just got to keep producing here on island, using our team, step by step. It's a slow growth, but that's how we build. You build the industry slow. You're not going to build it quick. But I think we've grown along a lot in 10 years, and I think in another 10 years from now, we'll be even that much further along. So we shall see.
Out of a chance, 0 to 10, what are the chances you think we're going to see a season 2 of that reality show?
I honestly don't know. Because I'm not a producer. I'm not in a position to even say, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'd love to get everyone working again. That's really what it's about for me. I'm willing to turn a blind eye to the content as long as I know our teams are out there shooting, filming, working. Like you said, 12-hour days, you feel good at the end of that day. Like
that's the only thing that I disagree with you on. I'm not willing to, turn a blind eye
from the content.
Yeah,
fair.
I'm not willing to do that.
That's fair. And I'm not saying I'm right. I think, all positions are viable and there probably needs to be somebody keeping an eye on the content, So that probably shouldn't be me though, because I'll say yes to everything. Conflict of interest, right?
Just to be clear, I'm the minority on this. I'm sure the majority of people feel opposed to me, that the majority of people are okay with that kind of content because they're willing to just chalk it up and say, oh well, it's it's just a reality show. Nobody don't take reality shows seriously anymore. I
don't think so, bro. Let me look at social media. Everybody was talking crap about it.
That's not true.
You don't think so?
No, I thought the engagement was so slow on social media. There were some people, yes, who I saw comment against the show. I deliberately went out of my way during the period of it. Like I wasn't going to talk about anybody's show because I wanted people to just see the entire show from beginning to end.
Just to see what their feedback would be without influencing it?
Without hearing how I
right.
The only persons who I knew who I probably spoke to about it would have been you.
Me.
And some close friends. I remember speaking to somebody else about it too, but there was no uptick for that. And
I think a lot of people on social, though, at least from what I saw, at least 50% was divided. But I feel like
no, I think a lot of people, primarily the female population, were happy to see it because this is the kind of content that is geared to female audiences.
Sure, okay.
And so I know people, for example, who I work with, they were in it for every episode. I have a friend, his wife and daughter.
They watched every episode.
They watched every episode, and every time they got to the end and they saw my name, they take a picture. Right? But they didn't take it seriously. They were just looking at it for its content. And, after a while, after it all aired, like I spoke to him outside, I'd say, hey, what you think about it? He's like, to be honest, bro, it's like, I think it's full of shit. Right? And he's like, I watch it with them because I like to see how they enjoy it, how they react, and then he spoke to his wife after, and they enjoyed the show, but they just were elements of the show that like, I don't like how this looked, I don't like how this came across. And for me, I'll always use that show as an example, like how I use Cayman 27 as an example. Cayman 27 was both the best company I ever worked for and the worst company I ever worked for. It was the best work experience I ever got because it taught me what I didn't want to do.
Right.
That show taught me what I didn't want for Cayman film.
There you go.
It
that's just as important as knowing what you want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Like the big thing that I know that I want to see the Film Commission do is have a certain level of standard and professionalism that you expect for local crews, that you can also hold incoming overseas crews. Like, hey, this is how we run our industry. Right. Like in the master's program I was telling you about, one of the things, like if you filming, and most films do it here, obviously they're not just throwing on their garbage. There's somebody who going around, hey, garbage is here. We're going out, we're taking out the garbage at the end of the day. We're leaving this place just as clean as we found it. Right. That's a level of professionalism I like to see. Yeah, me too. But it goes bigger than that. Is, how do you come to work? How do you behave at work? That to me what was missing.
Well, we shall see. Season 2, fingers crossed. Survivor came on. The Bluff. I think they are going to come to the Brack and shoot some plates. I don't think any of the actors will come, but they will shoot something, hopefully. And, this rebate program, I know that the Film Commission has set it up, but I don't think they're starting to market it yet, which is what we're waiting for. We're waiting for them to announce it. Like, this is the rebate program. And then it's like start marketing it out there in LA, in New York, in Toronto, in London, making people aware of, the rebate here in Cayman. And we'll see. Hopefully next year they really get the ball rolling on that. But this is our industry. So what are you up to for the rest of the day?
Boy, got some work I won't finish, and that's about it.
What kind of work?
Typing up some documents that I've been working on for quite some time.
For Radio Cayman?
No. Oh, well. Personal stuff.
Like what?
Yeah. Nah.
Well, you can talk about it.
No, man.
What do you mean? You holding it a secret, or?
Yeah, that part. That part.
Okay, that's interesting. Is it a film project?
No, it's not. I'd like to see more films though. Like Little Mouth. I'd like to see 4 more Little Mouths.
Me too.
In the next 5 years.
Because you know what's interesting about those films? Those are small budgets. Those are like 4 or 5 million a pop. Frankie's, I think, is like, I don't know, 30 million. Right? So we can handle.
What was that? The reality show?
I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm going to guess on the low end of millions as well. Right? So
I would have said 50.
50 what?
Million.
Nah.
Remember, they were also shooting in New York before they came over here.
Sure.
So I'm taking whatever they did over there plus what they did over here, and then remember they flew to Miami and.
I mean, I don't know, to be honest.
That's what I would say.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm just hoping that they got good eyes and we get a season 2. So we shall see. But yeah. So that's it.
That's it.
What else do you want to talk about?
Hey, I just came for you, bro. Whatever you want, you want someone in the pod, I come.
Good. I'm glad. You had a pod. What happened with that?
It didn't take. It started great. The problem I found was that the concept was a bit too academic, and because of that, it took far more time to prepare for the episode. And then obviously scheduling conflicts made it hard because then you got to prepare for the show, then you got to schedule the shows, and get everybody in the same place at the same time. And I was trying to figure, well, maybe you can do it remotely and everybody just, available at a time. But then it's like making sure everybody get the same equipment so that one person don't sound good and the next person don't sound good. So I would like to see it come back in a sense where it's more casual. But the problem was that it is a political show.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it called?
Backbenchers Podcast.
Okay, cool. I love it.
And the idea was I want to create it for people who were interested already in talking about political things in Cayman, not necessarily just for entry-level people who want to learn. I wanted it to be for the political enthusiasts who are already into, whether it's U.S. politics or UK politics or Cayman politics.
Right. A very political driven show.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. A lot of people are into that. What's your take on? We got the U.S. elections coming up, and we got Cayman elections. When is that? May next year?
Well, they haven't announced a date, but it would be in 2025.
Right. So, what's your take on November's?
On the U.S.?
Yeah.
It's so weird because when I grew up in that time where you almost had a reverence for Barack Obama. Right. But then I think as a Democratic Party continue to evolve, I just found myself disagreeing far more with them than agreeing more with them. And then when it came to the Republican Party, there were principles that I felt I agreed with more, but maybe not so much the actual party and the structure and the people. And then I believe over time it grew more to, people try to call it the Donald Trump party. I don't know if I believe it's a Donald Trump party. I believe the media has made it.
They made that monster.
And it's like a mud monster. They think that throwing mud at him is gonna get him down, but every time you throw mud at him, he come back stronger. He come back up, and so I feel like a lot of the hate in the conversation, I feel it is not needed. I feel a lot of the people who I see commenting or who are talking about politics, I call them the armchair experts, the ones who sit down and they just read the headlines and they come up with what they think, and because it makes sense in their head, they can't see how it don't make sense in other people's head. And that's why I believe the conversation gets divisive. But I really won't get back to a point, even in Cayman, where people are the opposing opposite spectrums can come together. You would remember when politicians used to go on crosstalk and you would have both government and opposition in there at the same time. Now you got opposition coming on a Tuesday and the government coming on a Thursday. That I don't like that.
Why do you think that is? I mean, what you're talking about is divisiveness, right? That's what, there's like a wall. There's like you are now my enemy. You're not just somebody who disagrees with me and then we can go get lunch after. But you're like my enemy. Yeah. I mean, is that accurate, you would say?
Yeah, but I believe a lot of it is social media driven, because I believe the vast majority of people are not interested on a political level. They may be interested on a ideological level, or they have just a little bit of interest. But I believe social media, for both sides, the right and the left, allows you to create your own echo chamber, and everything sounds good in your echo chamber if you're hearing everything that you want to agree with.
That's the part that bothers me.
It's a big problem, and I'm happy to say it. I don't care if people look at me sideways. I believe a lot of the divisiveness comes more from the modern day Democratic Party than anything else. That don't mean to say that I don't disagree with some of the things the Republican Party does too. Right. Yeah, I think there's a lot of it that's wrong, but in terms of just the outright anger and hate, man, listen, man, if you do something against the Democratic Party, they mashing up the streets and they rioting. They attempted to kill Trump the other day, and there wasn't a single riot from the Republicans. They didn't go out there and destroy nothing. They didn't go out there and kill nobody. It's just obvious. Like, anyways, that's just me. Nobody don't have to agree with me, and I don't vote in the US, so I can just be talking absolute rubbish. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Like you said, with the Obama era, there was respect there, but it just things change so rapidly. And I think Trump just really affected the Democratic Party so much. He almost changed the Democratic Party more than he changed the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
was just such a reaction to him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so you think who gonna win in November then? Who's your money on? Kamala?
My money is on Trump.
Really?
I think Kamala have the personality of a wet rag. I don't give a damn what her history is.
That's Obama's.
I don't give a damn. That's good. That's good. Like, I don't know anyone who likes Kamala for being Kamala, or anyone who likes Kamala because of something they know of Kamala. They only like Kamala because she's the one who will take out Trump.
Right.
That's it. That's it. If Trump dropped out of the race today and there was another candidate, they don't give a shit about Kamala.
It's true. It's really just about being able to beat Trump.
That's it. Once it's just about beating Trump. There's no political ideology. There is no societal ideology. There's no...
Democracy is at stake, bro.
Well, no, they said...
free democracy.
They
save democracy.
They said that they're running to save democracy.
Right.
But I guess we're not going to talk about the fact that all the Democrats voted for Biden to be the nominee. We're not going to say that part. We're not allowed to say that part. No, we're not allowed to say that part.
I mean, like you said, though, most of the people in the party don't care that they didn't have a choice. They believe in their party. They believe the party has the best intentions for them.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? What?
I don't think that there's overwhelming support for her in the Democratic Party. It was evident. It was evident because as soon as they announced her as the nominee, the billions of dollars came in from what we already knew were Democratic high-income earners donating. That money was already there.
Okay.
They just stopped it because they say, "Yo, Trump, Biden, you gotta get out." Ain't nobody was talking about Kamala before.
Yeah.
Name me 5 successful policies of Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
There's no policy there. There's no even if you hate Trump, you disdain him to the end of the world. You know his policy. Build a wall and get Mexico to pay for that. That's an actual policy. That's it's probably not a good policy, but it's a policy. You know something. Kamala has these vague things. Something about what the future will be, unbridled by what has been.
Right. I mean, their policy is very simple: beat Trump.
That's it.
And that's not good enough for some people, but I think it is good enough for a lot of people. A lot of people don't like Trump.
But who is it good enough for? It's good enough for the people who don't generally have a political interest.
Sure. Which, like you said, is the majority of people.
No, I think yes, it is a majority of people. Certainly the majority of certain key I shouldn't say that. Certain key political party-based voters.
Yes. Yes. And we shall see. I mean, I thought that Trump was going to beat Biden in 2020. For sure. I was convinced. He lost. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen in November. I really don't.
I think we've seen a far different Trump than what we've been accustomed to. Look at his performance in the debate. Everybody thought Trump was going to come out there and just kill Biden, take jabs left, right, and center. He was quite composed compared to, I think that is going to, I think that was done to attract the moderate voter, and I think it could work. And a symbol, just go online now. There are far more Black Americans who are coming out as pro-Trump than ever before.
I've been saying it. I can't wait to see how many
Me too.
Vote for him this year because it's increasing,
Yeah, he's going to get a substantially more, maybe not the majority, but he's going to get substantially more
than last time.
Than not only what he got last time, than probably the Republican Party has ever gotten.
How interesting would that be?
I'm then going to be interested to hear the propaganda, because then all of a sudden, you're gonna hear how all these black people are just Oreos because they white inside, and it's just gonna come out because
because if you don't vote for Kamala, you're a racist.
Yeah, there's
that's
no
obviously
way, there's no way that you can be a black person and support Republican ideals. It's how dare you?
Yeah,
Joe Biden say if you don't vote for me, you're not even black, and they say they say you've taken it out of context. Really? Play the full clip.
It's interesting to see the African American community shifting towards the Republicans, though. I find that so fascinating.
A whole group of people called Blacks for Trump.
Yeah, bro. Like they just relate to Trump. I love that. That's so fascinating to me. You know, because
and he won the election when they took when they tried to assassinate him. He was going to win it before, but Ronald Reagan was the last president who they tried to assassinate, and he ended up, I think it was 49 out of the 50 states.
After the
assassination.
There's people who hate Trump, bro. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be that close.
I don't think it, but I still think he'll win.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
I still think he'll win.
We'll see.
However, if Kamala also wins, you know, all right, 4 more years of what we already see.
Yeah,
you know, what we already it's not gonna be the.
It's a continuation of the last 4 years, for sure. For sure, they're gonna have to like try and come up with some policies finally. At that point, so who's messaging you? Where you going? Where you going? You know Trump's speaking today, right? At the Bitcoin conference, baby.
I heard, but I didn't.
What I actually noticed, I saw him speak, and I'm wondering if the assassination attempt changed him a little bit, because I saw him at the Republican convention after, and he seemed very reflective.
Yes. He said in
more
his speech,
toned down.
I haven't finished watching it, but I must admit, I still want to go back and finish it.
Yeah.
A part in his speech, he says, I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
Right? And you hear the crowd, you know,
yes you are. Yes, he's like, no, I'm not.
And then he come out, he said, thank you, but I'm not. Right? And so...
Keep going. I want some more Trump impersonations.
I'm not a good Trump impersonator.
There you are.
But I think a lot of the propaganda. You shouldn't even talk about it. A lot of the propaganda, I believe, is starting to fall apart because it's happening in plain view. When it wasn't happening in plain view, the propaganda was either growing or maintaining. But now that things are happening in plain view, it's just falling apart. Key democratic policies that they say this man is absolutely against. You got video of him saying, I'm campaigning to do this. And it's like, but that's not what he said you were going to do.
Right.
You know, so it's... I'd like to watch it from an entertainment, you know, standpoint, because I like political discourse. I like that kind of content.
So when he was running against Clinton, who were you for? 2016.
Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't for or against any of them because, again, tell me anything you like about Hillary Clinton. She's just a lifelong.
I'm just curious because you said that you were an Obama guy and you kind of like
towards that time I was a bit more favorable to Donald Trump, but I didn't think he would have won, or I don't think that he was going to be as successful as he had been.
No one did. I think that was such a shock. I think even Trump was shocked that he won.
I don't know, but I think it is certainly a interesting election cycle ahead. The UK one was also interesting. And
what's your thoughts on that? I don't know much about that.
Well, I Cayman, so we always hear the rumors that Cayman tend to lean conservative. I would agree with that because there was a lot of the labor policies that I didn't agree with. Living there in the UK too, I spoke to people about this before. You know, the situation isn't how it looks. But when I was living there, I was shocked at the disparity between the different constituencies. Like where I lived, I love the area, I love the university, but it was extremely dirty. It was just filthy. And then I'll travel to another part and it would be absolutely clean. I was like, wait, why is it so clean? It's like, oh yeah, you're in a conservative area. Like, whoa! Like that drastic, like, you know?
Because they say the same thing in the States, that liberal cities are real dirty and filthy. And so it's the same thing in the UK, kind of?
At least where I was. I can't speak for everywhere. I'm sure, I don't want nobody to hear me say this.
Right.
I'm sure there are labor council areas that are clean and well kept. I can just tell you what the building manager told me. And he said there's certain times where, we got to come in early to pick up these needles so that when y'all come out the building, y'all don't see the needles on the floor. Right. You know, it just is what it is. But certainly there was I'm only in it for as much as Cayman can benefit. And I do not view the Labour Party as inherently good for Cayman.
Right.
I'm sure that we'll have good diplomatic relations with them. It probably also won't be as bad as maybe I think it's gonna be. But certainly, you know, they were right to win the election. You know, the Conservative Party did not at all do what they were supposed to do. It was the Conservatives' elections to lose. Right. You know?
Right. And they lost it.
And they lost it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel like it's the same thing with the Democrats in this election in the US. They had the incumbent. It's their election to win or lose. And I think if they lose, it'll be fingers that should be pointed at them. If they win, I think the fingers should point at them too. Good call on switching to Kamala. It made the difference, you know?
I don't know. I genuinely believed Joe Biden was a walking corpse, but I believe that he had the best chance as a Democratic candidate.
More than Kamala did?
Absolutely.
Even after the debate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kamala has never won a local election, like, you know, with her name on the ballot. She ran for presidency. She dropped out before the first primary. So no voter had ever voted on her. She was explicitly chosen to be the vice president to take a DEI box, whether people won't call you racist or not. They said it on camera. Like, this is white. Okay? So, you know, I don't think that she has any policy to stand on. I think she's a very flip-flop candidate, almost like how I described Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was for something when it was convenient and against something you know, when it wasn't. You know, whatever gets you the vote is where she...
I mean, Trump is the same way. All of a sudden, he liked Bitcoin. All of a sudden, he's speaking at the Bitcoin conference. Yeah, okay. A couple months ago, you were against it.
I heard that he was against it at first, but I don't know the full context of what his
Well, we're going to hear the speech today. It's probably happening right now.
Oh, wow.
But it's we're gonna hear what he had to say, how he's flipping and flopping, but he definitely flipped and flopped on Bitcoin. But you know, as Bitcoiners, we don't care. Come on board, bend the knee, bro. Praise Bitcoin, or else you're not going nowhere. I waiting for Kamala. She gotta say something about Bitcoin. She can't just let Trump run with this. Maybe she will.
I think she had announced she wasn't going.
She's not going to the conference. No, she didn't go. But that doesn't mean that she can't say something about Bitcoin before November comes around.
I still need some Bitcoin lessons.
Yeah, we all do, bro. It's a paradigm shift, you know. So I think everyone's still at the beginning of this Bitcoin journey.
I think you got that. I think you're drinking that Bitcoin Kool-Aid. You got
definitely.
You got that Bitcoin red pill.
Definitely, orange pill. It's called the red pill. The Bitcoin pill is the orange pill.
Is the orange pill
correct? Yeah, definitely. I swallowed the orange pill. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Have you made good money from it?
When I got into Bitcoin, it was at 16,000, and now it's at 60,000. So from 16,000,
what do you mean 16,000?
That's how much it costs per Bitcoin. But you don't have to buy a Bitcoin. You can buy part of a Bitcoin. You can buy $5 a Bitcoin.
Right.
So since I've gotten in, because I happen to get in the bottom of the bear market, it's gone up. Now, does that mean I made a lot of money? If I didn't put in a lot of money at the beginning, then I wouldn't have made a lot of money, right? So yes, I'm up on the investment, but I don't look at it as that. I plan to hold Bitcoin for the rest of my life. That's it. It's a savings account. And it's like with any savings account, you're not going to take it out next year. You're not going to take it out for Christmas. Right. This is for long term.
Long term.
So that's generally how I view Bitcoin, is a long term savings. I be hitting up Chris all the time. Chris Saunders about it.
Okay.
All the time, bro. Like, what's up with Bitcoin, baby? Talk to me. You're going to let Trump talk about Bitcoin first, you know? And you know, Chris has talked about switching up their investments a little bit, not so much US treasuries, but they're looking at crypto, they're looking at Bitcoin. So, you know, I look forward to the elections in May to see if anybody can even talk about Bitcoin at that point. That's going to be interesting to me. Bitcoin, you know, we are, what do you call them? One policy voters.
Oh,
that's it.
Oh, that's
it. Are you for Bitcoin?
Whatever candidate it is.
Vote. Yes. One policy. That's our thing. But yeah.
So how much roughly? You can't say.
Not enough.
How much Bitcoin you have?
Not enough.
You have a single. Well, okay. Say 50 years go by.
Mm-hmm.
You've accumulated all you have.
Mm-hmm.
How do you expend it? How do you use it?
Leverage. It's an asset, right? So, like, if, for instance, if all I have is Bitcoin, I don't got no cash. 50 years from now, that Bitcoin's going to be worth a fair amount of money. I can go to the bank, need a loan. Do you have collateral? Yep. The most pristine asset that the world has ever known, called Bitcoin. Leverage. Therefore, you can get on. So it's just leverage.
And are all commercial banks open to?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
So that's where the fight is.
That's one of the fights. Yeah, that's one of the fights. But they'll get there. I had one banker here at I was filming something. She came up behind me. She like, I got good news for you coming from the bank. And she already knows I'm into Bitcoin, so I already know this is something about Bitcoin or crypto. I emailed her the other day. I like, yo, what were you talking about? She's like, I can't tell you yet, but it's coming. So I don't know what it is. I'm hoping it's Bitcoin and not like crypto. But
the things I don't understand about Bitcoin is how much different platforms. Is there one official platform that you purchase Bitcoin from, or are there all these different subsidiaries, like how you have different banks that you can get it from? Like, I think a lot of it, like I have some interest. Like, I want to learn about Bitcoin. I want to see, you know, what can I get in on, you know. Mm-hmm. But for example, I don't want to be scammed. Mm-hmm. I want to feel like I'm going to a credible source. Mm-hmm. And to me, Bitcoin is one of those things mm-hmm. where
you don't know where it's coming from. You don't know, is this really Bitcoin?
Right. Is this the official way? Is this the right way? For example, like I say this in Cayman, to me, there's a lot of jobs in Cayman that over periods of time, they become very, very popular. So once you knew how to make a corned beef sandwich, everybody will open up a personal chef thing, right? Everybody will try and sell their food, right? And then it's after that was no longer popular, then all of a sudden, everybody was becoming makeup artists. There was never enough makeup artists. Everybody was putting hashtag MUA on their profile.
Nothing wrong. Yeah.
You know, everybody was just, and then now the wave is personal services. Everybody's doing a company that, you know, I'll pay you to apply for this for me, or to go and do this.
Right.
So to me, that wave of popular things, I think Bitcoin is one of them. Okay. But I think Bitcoin has sustained that popularity longer than some of these other industries. Right. But I want to know, like, at what point is Bitcoin oversaturated? At what point is it more hype than actual use? You know, I want to know a realistic, like this is realistically what Bitcoin can do, how you can use it, and how you can understand it. You know, throwing around these big words that sometimes people don't understand, Bitcoin and blockchain. Right. Yeah, I went to a blockchain conference. I asked everybody interviews, and none of them made sense to me. And I was the person doing the interview. I gotta go do a goddamn report about this. Right. And it's like, I just understand nothing. Right. You know, what is the kiss about it? To keep it stupid simple. Yeah. You know, and everybody who you talk, sometimes I look at the shit you post on WhatsApp, right? And that's to me what's missing from it. Yeah. Keeping it as stupid simple as possible. Right. It just seems too complicated. And to me, when something is just too complicated, it breeds fear and mistrust. Because why are you trying to make this sound so good? Like think about regular stocks. You don't got to convince nobody about investing in gold and silver because it's always there. It's always has its value. You don't got to make this big speech of this is why you invest in gold and silver. But check out anybody who telling you that why you invest in Bitcoin.
It's different.
It's a whole lesson plan.
It's like that meme where the guy's like there's like a chalkboard. He's like trying to explain to you.
There's formulas and it's like keep it stupid simple. You know. So that's that. If you are right. I'm willing to be the experimental guinea pig. You make it stupid simple, and I'm willing to be the guinea pig. Get me involved.
But there's a problem with that. You can't. Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunately we're like you said yourself. You ask them people, make this simple for me. Were they able to do it? No, exactly. Like I don't know any Bitcoiner that can, right? It's just like we want to. There is nothing I would love more than to just say, "Oh, this is Bitcoin" in a sentence, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I get it." That would be a dream come true, but we're not there yet. It is complicated.
Answer my question.
Yes.
Keep it stupid simple. What is Bitcoin?
The perfect money. It's the best money humanity has ever made. That's what it is.
How has it come? How did it come about? How do you know that there is such a thing as Bitcoin? They say you know something by what it's used for, right? How do you know? Where can I go and see? Oh, look, a Bitcoin, or this thing here, this program here. You see that? You see this? How do I know? Where can I go to?
To what? To see that?
To see a Bitcoin, to see like, oh, this is the product. This is the thing, right? I heard years ago that Bitcoin was like a computer program and it continues to build and build and
Correct.
build. What's the program? What does the program achieve?
So again, it's perfect. It's the best money we've ever created. Why? Because I'm sure you did your economics class, like a good Caymanian, money has characteristics. Gold, cash,
bonds, whatever.
And one of the characteristics is it should be hard. In other words, you can't expand the supply. If you can, that's why I made gold the best money before Bitcoin, is because it's very hard to expand the supply.
As in you can't create new gold.
Exactly.
It either exists or it doesn't.
That's called hard money. That's what you want. For some reason in economics, if your money is hard, then the nations will prosper. But when they start printing money, what happens?
The value goes down. So how is Bitcoin hard? What makes Bitcoin hard?
What makes Bitcoin hard is the software, the code that runs the software across tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of computers around the world, has a limited cap on Bitcoin. So there can only ever be 21 million. And all these computers run the same code that say there can only be 21 million. Now you can copy the code and write.
So you can create your own 21 million and I can go and create my own 21 million.
Yeah, you can change it. You can copy the Bitcoin code, start your own computer, say, you know what, I'm going to change it to 22 million. And you start running.
So there's not one Bitcoin.
There is only one Bitcoin, because then if you did that, then the Bitcoin network would cut you off, because they would say, oh, this guy changed the code. So you get cut off. So you wouldn't be allowed onto the Bitcoin network. Right? Yeah. So the Bitcoin network is it's the biggest network in the world. It has more computers processing this network than Google or Facebook have. Right? So they're running the same code. Now, if some fraudulent computer with a different code tries to get into the network won't accept it. They'll get kicked off because this guy's not running the code that we're all running. We are all running the same code.
Who maintains it?
People who run nodes. People who have a computer running the Bitcoin software.
And what are the nodes?
They run the software. They run the Bitcoin software. They're the ones that, ensure that the network is running and that there's no... no one's trying to cheat the system.
I think basically. This is the image most people think of when they hear Bitcoin.
Probably not the best image, yeah.
A gold coin with the B
on it.
And is there anything? Obviously, the benefit of it is that it is digital.
Yes.
Is there anything physical like that, like a physical thing that you can have possession of, that you know this is where the value is contained?
Your wallet which has the Bitcoin in it, which is your phone.
As like an application?
Yes.
Is it multiple applications, or is it just one single application that everybody has to go through?
Okay, so that was your first question because you weren't sure. No, so like I said, the Bitcoin network is one network with tons of computers, right?
Oh, before you get it, is Bitcoin a product or a brand name?
Both, I guess.
Like champagne is only a particular fizzy beverage made out of the Champagne region of whatever, right? So it can only be champagne if it's made and harvested in this area, right? Everything else like Prosecco or whatever the case is. Right. Bitcoin, is Bitcoin one single thing that it never ever changes, or can everyone have their own different?
No, they can't. You cannot have your different. It's like what you said. It's like based in champagne. Bitcoin is just Bitcoin. No one can make another Bitcoin. If you want Bitcoin, you have to go to the Bitcoin network. That's the only place you can get Bitcoin.
Okay.
Right. So now, having said that, there's different exchanges that you can buy your Bitcoin from. You can go to Coinbase.com. You can go to Binance.com. You can go to any of these different exchanges, but they have to go to the Bitcoin network to get it. Right?
So if you as an individual wanted to go directly to Bitcoin, could you do that, or you have to go through one of these?
No, you could do that.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have never bought Bitcoin from an exchange. I have only bought Bitcoin from somebody like you. So I know people who have Bitcoin. There's a big Bitcoin community around the world and in Cayman. And if you want Bitcoin, what I do, I'm like, bro, I try and buy some Bitcoin. Give me the money. I give them the money. They send me the Bitcoin. Transaction done.
So how do I know? So for example, I don't have Bitcoin, right? And I say, okay, I want a Bitcoin wallet. Are there many different types of wallets?
There are.
How do I know if this is the right wallet for me? How do I know? Is the wallet a service charge, or is it like a literal wallet? I pay one time for the wallet. This is my wallet. I never have to pay you again for the wallet. I give you the money, you give me the wallet, and I go about my day. Is the wallet a platform that you have to subscribe to?
It's an app, and it's free. Generally, they're free. So you can download them on your phone. Just search for Bitcoin wallet. If you want to do a Google search before, what are the best Bitcoin wallets, then you'd feel better.
But no, I'm talking to you. That's fine. I'm talking to you as my friend.
So you go to the App Store.
What Bitcoin wallet would you recommend?
I would recommend Blue Wallet.
I'm going to pick up my phone right now.
That was the first wallet I ever got, Blue Wallet.
All right, let me go into the App Store.
Go to the App Store, Blue Wallet. You want me to send you some Bitcoin right now?
Not if I got to pay you for it.
No, maybe I'll just, go to Blue Wallet. That's how it looks.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's called Bitcoin and Lightning. So before I open this, I'm inclined to already download this one because this is the one you told me.
Yes.
Why do you recommend Blue Wallet, and what makes Blue Wallet different from all the other Bitcoin wallets?
It's not really that different. They're all kind of the same. They all do the same thing. They hold Bitcoin.
Okay.
That's it. Right? That's what they were designed to do. If it was a fake wallet, Bitcoin wouldn't be able to get to it, right? The wallet wouldn't be able to actually get the Bitcoin. And
is this considered like the industry standard? What is the industry standard Bitcoin wallet?
There's people love Cold Card, people love Trezor.
I see Exodus.
There's Jade.
Let me see.
I mean, those are, there's different. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. They all do the same thing.
Okay.
Yes.
So now that if I go and download this wallet, let me see some of the pictures, right? Obviously, the currency is BTC, Bitcoin.
Yes, but if you press the button in there, it'll show you it in US dollars too.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are transactions that come in and go out.
Right.
Buy Bitcoin. What's the marketplace? What's Lightning? Vault, Lightning.
Don't worry about Lightning.
Why?
It's just more complicated stuff that you don't want to hear about.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Lightning, no Lightning, doesn't matter. Bitcoin. Yeah.
So with this app, is this the app that I would go into to purchase Bitcoin from somewhere, or I have to go to somewhere else to purchase it?
You would have to go to somewhere else. Yeah. That a lot of the wallets, you can't buy them through the wallets. You have to buy them through an exchange. So what you would do is you would say you went to Binance, right? You would buy it on Binance, and it would exist on Binance under your profile. And then you would say withdraw, because you want to put it in your wallet. You don't want Binance to hold on to it. And then when you put withdraw, There's a little QR code. You put that up to the computer, boom, Binance sends you your Bitcoin. Same thing with me. If you bought Bitcoin from me, I would say, all right, give me the money. You give me the money. Show me your QR code. I go like this, boom, send Jevaughnie $100 US worth of Bitcoin. Press send, and it sends.
How does the program, how is it determine what a Bitcoin is valued at? A single Bitcoin. So that, for example, you're talking about sending me $100 worth of Bitcoin. That it has to be prorated at some point if the Bitcoin itself don't worth $100. If you say worth $16,000 and you tell me you only sending me $100 worth of Bitcoin, there's some way that they're prorating it.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but look here, there's $233 on this wallet of Bitcoin, right?
And you can have different wallets?
Yeah, you can have lots of wallets. That's how much Bitcoin it is, 0.003, right? And it's 341 sats, which is just...
What's sats?
They're very small units of Bitcoin. So there's 100 million sats in a single Bitcoin, yes. So basically, I would just send you 100 of that. And
so that this 0.003, I'm not going to say the number, but this is how much it is valued in US dollars.
Correct. And as the price change on the market, this changes live.
What market?
I'm not really. That's one part I'm not sure about is how the price of Bitcoin is actually determined. But that's what I'm talking about, the market price. So like if you Google right now, what's the price of Bitcoin? It'll pop up. How that actually happens, I actually don't know.
So is it like there's a US dollar Bitcoin different from a UK pound Bitcoin?
Well, it would be different because US and UK aren't one and one, right? So they'll float against each other. So the Bitcoin price will float against. See, there you go. In British pounds right now, one Bitcoin is 53,200 pounds, right?
Do it in US.
In US, it's 68,000.
Okay, but that's just a conversion.
That's just a conversion between US
but it's
to
the
UK.
same 21 million
Bitcoin, yes.
in the world.
That's correct.
Whether it's the UK government or the US government.
Correct. There's only ever going to be 21 million. That's what makes it different and better than all the other money, because all the other money you can increase, you can make it soft.
What is it like you're transferring it to me? Like if I transfer to you in the bank, we got to pay the Cayman Islands banking cartel an unnecessary amount of like transfer fees, or you got to pay them to maintain the account, you know?
Yeah, all of that.
What is it like on the Bitcoin side?
You are your own bank. Be your own bank. That's a Bitcoin quote, right? So
if you're sending money to me, you don't have to pay me to send it. You don't have to pay a charge to send it.
There is a charge on the Bitcoin network itself that pays the miners to process the transaction. So that's it. That's
The miners?
The miners, yeah.
What are you talking about?
Let's not get too complicated, but let's get back to the banking thing. I think that's important because once you have your Bitcoin in your wallet, you're not going to be charged, bro. That's it. You're not going to be charged every month. You know, you're going to be charged to send. It's a small percentage. It doesn't cost that much to send, but that keeps the miners incentivized. Don't worry about that. The point is that you're not going to be charged. That is and that money that you have exists outside the banking system. So like this, $233 in this wallet, the banks don't have that. That's in the Bitcoin network.
So I'm just saying, I know it's long-term investment. If you wanted to take that out in cash, how would you do that?
I would find somebody like you who wants to buy Bitcoin. Oh, you want to buy Bitcoin? Yeah, all right, give me 200 and I'll send you over 200. Okay, boom. Sold.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty simple. Or you go on an exchange and sell it there. Those guys will buy it on the exchanges as well.
I'm assuming a rate's more better for them than for you.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, that's what they do as a business. You know. But that's really and truly the beauty of it, because if you hold your money in US dollars, it's being devalued right now, right? Especially since 2008, great financial crash, and since COVID. Why? Because they had to print lots of money to bail everybody out so that the economy didn't collapse. And then when they started printing money, the little bit you have in your bank is going down in value, right? That's why prices go up. So if you have Bitcoin, however, that cannot happen. That cannot happen.
Okay.
That can't happen.
The next thing when new ideas come out is people usually say, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
Yes.
So what is the risk to Bitcoin? There has to be some downside.
There is. The fact that you are your own bank. Because now, this only has $233 in it. It could have 2 million. Right? And then what happened if I drop this in the ocean? You got to know how to get you could lose your Bitcoin. Right? But if you're in the bank and they lose 2 million, you'll go knock on the bank, be like, yo, there's some accounting error. Can you guys go check? They'll go, oh yeah, sorry about that. That was a mistake, and they'll put it back. You can't do that with Bitcoin. There's no putting back. If you lost it, it lost. Yes.
And there's no way to recoup, even from a governing agency.
No, right? They cannot help you.
So like when you see them in the movies and the person has a memory key that apparently has their Bitcoin on it, and you see them store it in the safe, right? Is that a realistic depiction of how people would attempt to take care of their Bitcoin?
Yes.
So like for say, you got that app on the phone.
Yes.
Typically, I have an app on the phone too. If I lose this phone for whatever reason, I can just go sign in, download the app again on another phone, sign in my stuff are there.
Yes.
You're saying that won't happen with Bitcoin?
Yeah, it can, and it will, because when you download that wallet, which you didn't do, but when you download it, it'll give you your private key. And a private key is 12 words, right? That is your key.
12 words?
Yes, correct. 12 words.
Like a sentence?
No, like coconut, camera, blackboard, computer, microphone.
And do you get to pick it?
No, okay. It generates it out of chaos or whatever they call it.
Okay.
And those 12 words are so unique that nobody will ever be able to duplicate it. So those are your private keys. So now if I go throw this in the ocean,
you got to have those 12 words.
You got to have them 12 words, because then now what I would do is I would download Blue Wallet again.
And put in your 12 words.
Put in my 12 words. Boom. Bitcoin's there.
So why do you see the movies when they have this memory key that has so much Bitcoin and they're hiding it in a safe deposit box? Is that then not realistic because of the security measures that you took?
Yes and no, because you don't actually need to have anything physical. If you have the 12 words in your head, you don't need anything physical. You could throw it away, because you can always generate that Bitcoin into another wallet. Just set up another wallet, punch in your 12 words, and you got your Bitcoin. So no, you actually don't need a piece of hardware for it. However, people do keep hardware versions of it, because sometimes you just want to check on your balance. Like if all you have is your keys.
What's the hardware? Like what money says, they put that memory, you have an app here, right? When you see them in the movies and they putting this memory key inside this safe, what the fuck is on the memory key? Like when they plug into the computer, does a program open up?
Basically,
file?
No. So what it does is that the key, the piece of hardware is able to read the network, the Bitcoin network, and tell you how much you have. That's all. It basically,
there's a program on it.
It's a program that can read the Bitcoin network.
And you have to like assign this program to like a particular memory key, or?
What do you mean? No. So your question is, why do they have these wallets, right? These little physical things. People have them on their necklace now, right? Your question is why that, right?
I just talking from the movies. You see the young college student, who has his life savings in Bitcoin.
Right.
He's doing some illegal shit, and the police come and raid the place.
Right.
And
right.
He's just worried about that one memory key or that one hard drive.
Right.
If you can do it on the phone, like what's the necessity of?
Oh, good question. Sorry, I should have thought about that. The main thing being is that particular thing is not connected to the internet. So Blue Wallet is. It's called a hot wallet.
Okay.
So if there is a hacker out there that somehow wants to find your keys and you're on the internet, there's more likelihood that they will be able to than if you have a hardware wallet, which you call a cold wallet, which is not connected to the internet and never does get connected to the internet. There's no way. There's no way anybody can get the Bitcoin from you. Hack all you want. They can't get to your phone. It's a physical item. Right? So in that sense.
So can you have a hot, what do you call it? Hot
wallet connected to the internet,
and a cold wallet that are synced?
That's a question. I don't know, because generally they tend to be one or the other. Right? They tend to be hot wallets or cold wallets. Now you could send between them. So what I would suggest, and I use Blue Wallet just to have fun, show people Maybe if I do a purchase, I'll send it to my Blue wallet first, but then I'll send it to my cold wallet, which I know is not connected to the internet.
So where you keep your cold wallet?
Butterfield.
Oh, friggin'.
Butterfield holds my Bitcoin.
So you're one of them people who got a little memory key, don't you?
Well, remember, you don't even need a memory key, so maybe I don't. All you need is 12 words, which you can just keep in your head if you spend the time. And then that way you're totally safe. You can keep $2 million. You can keep 20 million. You can keep 1 billion of Bitcoin in your head, bro. That's never been done before. That's crazy, crazy technology. Crazy. Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's
exhausted now?
I love talking about Bitcoin.
Did I out-talk you?
I appreciate you asking questions about it. You know, there's people don't even, engage that much on it. You know,
I think people don't engage because it sounds so damn complicated that.
Yeah. Well, here's the beautiful thing about it is that it's going to become easier as time goes on. You know, because think about the internet when it first started. A lot of people didn't understand what it meant. They're like, how do you get on? Like, what does this mean? Like in the early 90s, right? And then at that point too, you didn't even have Windows. So you had to know like DOS and like how to log on. You know what I mean? And like the vast majority of people were going to do it. But Windows came along, and then all of a sudden now, you have Wi-Fi. You don't even need to plug anything in, and the internet became simpler and simpler, and now everyone's just connected. Bitcoin will follow the same path. Right now, we're in the early 90s with Bitcoin, where it's like, what? You got to download these wallets and these blockchains and these keys.
What is blockchain? Because I went to the conference, and it still didn't mean nothing to me. Mm-hmm. It just sounded like a bunch of pretentious people who are making whatever they do sound more important than it actually is.
Yeah.
So what is blockchain?
Blockchain describes how the ledger, which tracks the money, like if I send money to you, it'll make a note in the ledger, right? Just like in a bank, if you send money, you have to make a note. Oh, this was sent from Badir to Jevaughnie. Mm. That's called a ledger. Mm. Blockchain describes how those ledgers are saved throughout time. They're saved on top of each other. That's why it's a block, because they're blocks. And it's a chain because it's a chain that goes all the way back to the very beginning of Bitcoin in 2000. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So it's like an annual thing.
It's I wouldn't even say annual. It's just ongoing. So remember I was telling you about nodes? Yeah. Nodes have...
These are the people who run it.
These are the people who run it. They have the blockchain on all their computers.
When you say they run it, describe in words the person who's running the node. What are they doing on a daily basis? Because if the program can just run itself, what are they doing?
Well, I don't know. I don't run a node.
Okay.
I'd love to get there. I think it's similar to, I'm running Firefox right now. Right? That's it. I got Firefox running. Why? It's a piece of software. It knows how to run. Yeah. So when you're running the Bitcoin network, it's the same thing. It's just a software. I don't think you need to stand there and be like, yeah, okay, I'm running the Bitcoin network. No, you're just a computer that's running the software. And to get back to the blockchain, you will have a copy of the blockchain on your node. So all nodes have a copy of the blockchain, and all blockchains are one.
And how much different blockchains are we talking about?
One. There's only one blockchain, and everybody has the same copy of the same. And if you have a different copy, you're getting kicked out because you don't have the true blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain on your network. And the blockchain goes.
What makes a true blockchain versus a fraud blockchain?
For instance,
or what makes a true Bitcoin versus a fraud Bitcoin? Same question, different way.
So remember I said with the blockchain that the very first transaction that ever happened is on that chain of blocks. Mm-hmm. So even today on all the nodes, they have a blockchain which contains the very first transaction ever. Right. Now, if somebody was to create a blockchain and took out that first transaction, that is an illegitimate blockchain, and it would get kicked off the network.
By who?
By the rest of the nodes, because the nodes they all communicate with each other, and they all ensure that they're all on the same blockchain, and they all have the same information. Boom! Wait, this computer is different. Why is that? The other one's like, no, that's different, and then everyone's like, nah, get that out, kick it out.
Who's the authority of blockchain?
The software,
or who is the authority of Bitcoin?
The software. the software.
There has to be a human who runs the software.
Yes, but they run the software, but the software is the authority.
Okay, so how does the authority know how to handle disputes? It has to have some human intervention.
Well,
or is it like AI, and AI is so intuitive that they don't need the help of humans?
No, it's not an AI thing. It's that it's actually just built into the program of Bitcoin and
who built it? Who?
You don't know who the creator of Bitcoin is?
No.
Satoshi Nakamoto. He created Bitcoin, or she. No one knows who it is.
Okay.
Right. So the person that...
So they created this program.
Correct.
So ideally, he or she is the authority of the program because he's the one who created it.
Yeah, but then even if he was to come back right now, he wouldn't be able to change it. If he changed it, the same thing would happen.
Why he wouldn't? You don't think he would have a backdoor to what he created?
No.
Why?
Because he would get kicked out of the network just like anybody else who tried to change it.
But it's his.
It's not his.
Oh.
He released it to the world. I mean, he doesn't own it.
It's a publicly traded.
Correct. It's a public network that everyone abides by.
Okay.
Yeah. I just started reading his emails. Fascinating to see him back in 2008 when he was first launching it. And people, because the thing about Bitcoin that people don't realize is that there's a history to it. It didn't just come out of nowhere. How long was it? 2 hours on?
Yeah, we just hit the 2-hour mark. Blow up.
Yeah.
I figure I'm going to out-talk you.
Well, you got me onto Bitcoin, so can't wait to hear what Trump got to say.
Yeah.
So is it a little clearer?
It is.
Yeah.
It is a little clearer. I still have questions about security. Like if I want it, why? If I'm my own bank,
Mm-hmm.
how do I know that what I'm doing is truly keeping my Bitcoin safe and secure? That's one. Two, why should I as a business accept payment in Bitcoin? Business, at least in my personal everyday life, the idea is to earn money, to spend money. Mm-hmm. So I can understand from a permanent savings kind of thing, something you don't intend to touch for a long time,
right? Why
you should use it,
right?
What is the benefit of somebody using it in their everyday life to purchase groceries or what? I don't know.
We're not there yet.
Yeah,
there is no benefit for that right now,
okay,
because most of the people aren't going to be able to accept Bitcoin.
Okay,
but that isn't, like you said, it's the savings. It's a savings technology.
Okay,
you save in Bitcoin. Now, I do believe 10 years from now, everyone's going to be transacting in it when the software is cleaner and quicker and easier to use. Yes. But right now, people still like you don't get it, don't know it. I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't really know all of it either, but it's just too much confusion. So nobody's really trying to trade for Bitcoin, in terms of like every day, let me buy a patty with Bitcoin. Let me buy a corned beef sandwich with Bitcoin. We're not there yet, but that's fine. Right now, it's a savings technology. That's all it needs to be. And it will save your money. It will protect it against the US dollar, which is inflating, and the CI dollar, because the CI is inflating with the US. That's why the prices are going up here too. So it'll protect you from inflation. That's the best use case for it now. And by the way, if you're in Argentina, 100 and something % inflation, you definitely want Bitcoin.
Can they use it as a currency for spending over there?
Not quite. The world not there yet. There's a few circular economies
that use it.
Yeah. But
all right. So
yeah.
To round up, I might get Bitcoin. But you're not kicking me off any film sets because of the shit I talk about, the reality show, right?
Nah, bro.
You sure about that?
Yeah, man. No, man. I'm not gonna put you in a row. I'm gonna hire you for grip. I'm not gonna hire you to join the electric team. But, we'll find the right roles for you as always. It's part of what I do, is determining.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to explain to somebody what your business does. And the only way I can explain it is like a film coming here to Cayman, they need a local connect. Badir is a local connect.
Sure. That's one part of what we do.
Explain it to me so I can explain it better to people.
Yeah. So a lot of our clients don't live in Cayman, but they need to come here to shoot something. Mm-hmm. So they are coming in blind. Now, when they know that they need to do certain things to be able to film here, for instance, they need a film permit. They also need a work permit. They also need to know where the heck they're going to shoot. They might need cast. They'll hire us. And we'll do that for them. We'll sort them out with their work permits. We'll sort them out with the film permit. We'll tell them exactly what they need to do. Bim, bam, boom. Okay. Oh, you need some casting. We'll organize casting, get some actors for them.
So what do you do on the local side? Like, I got a small company. I don't do much with it. I have equipment that it's enough for just one person.
Sure.
But I'm interested in renting it, or I'm interested in, being available as a voice talent or whatever through my company. What does your company do for like a company like mine? Or is it only the overseas?
Well, for instance, if you're interested in renting your equipment, that might be something we'd do, because sometimes they'll ask like, "Hey, can we rent equipment on island?"
Well, I'm interested in renting the equipment.
What you got?
I'll show you. I got everything here. Just don't worry about it. It's called.
What you got, baby? Let me know. Let me see. And you said voice acting, right? So we'd get you in there.
Open it up and see everything else that I have. It's just enough for one person.
Okay, you got is that a Blackmagic?
It is.
6K Pro tripod. 18 to 35, 1.8 lens. That's nice. A couple SD cards, batteries. Okay, you got something going on here. The
problem is that I'll tell you what, I bought everything one by one, because as you can see, majority of stuff in there are quite pricey. So I couldn't buy everything one time. For example, the difference between the camera and the tripod itself is so expensive that I would have to rent the tripod at its own essentially premium price to cover for it.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And so determining like what's the accurate price to rent for. I'm like you see all the stuff that I have.
Yeah.
I'm happy as a company to say, hey,
to rent this out.
This is what I have. You can rent it out, right? You give me a good day rate. I'll make sure it's available and it's charged up.
Yeah.
I do that for a small company here if they need it. But I want to do more of it. I have equipment that I'm not really using, but I want to get it out there. But I want to get what it's worth.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's just something good for me to know, right?
I told you this already. I should slap you. I should slap you on your own
I told you to send me it, but you never sent me it.
I did.
Send me the list. I probably, you know what? You want to check and see if I don't got you right now? Or you think a joke, or what you is? Jevaughnie. Boom. 6K Pro Cam. Photos will be sent soon. Still waiting. I got them. Yeah, right there, baby.
Let's see it.
Let's see. Audio. You got wireless mic set. Where is that? Did I see that in here?
Look at your WhatsApp. Let me see if let me check on mine.
I don't see it there. Your tripod. Boom. Got your tripod. Boom.
All right.
Our company is on point, baby. We know what you got. See your photos there? I got them too.
You forget. I knew I sent them to you. Yeah. Go back one.
So you got these mics?
Yeah, I have those mics.
You don't have them on that?
Yeah, I do. I just have the newest version of it. So I had this exact same one, the Blink, this exact one, but there was a fault in it, and so I sent it back to the company.
Really?
To fix, and in turn they sent me back the newest version of it.
Oh, cool.
So this is what
I might rent from you pretty soon, actually.
It's something. See it here. This is the new one.
Oh, that's what I thought. Those were SD cards.
No. This is
cool.
The same mic.
So you got that? Mm-hmm. Nice.
So I have another one that I want to buy. I haven't purchased it yet. But the idea is I wanted it to be small enough for a one-man crew, but I wanted it to be professional quality at the same time.
Sure.
So I actually just took the mic out before I came here because I just needed the space in my bag. But I use it for work. So that I can record from anywhere.
Yeah.
But for example, I rent it out. People who need it, churches, small companies. I just want to, because I have the equipment and I'm not using it, I want to rent it more. But I know how much as you can see, because the cart shows the
total value.
The total value.
Yeah.
Because I know how much I paid for it, I want to rent it at what is.
Right.
I remember working for Cayman 27 and I have to carry around a 25-pound tripod.
Right.
I saved up a lot of money to get a carbon fiber one.
Right.
So I'd rather hold on to it.
Right.
But at the same time, I also want to know that
make some money from it.
I want to make some. So the reason I say make more money of it, I've rented it before, and I think I've done enough projects with my own equipment and with
the rentals to justify having them.
To justify having them.
Right.
So they're not in debt.
Right.
But the reason that I bought them as really expensive equipment is because I want to rent to camera professionals who I know are going to care for the equipment.
Right.
But I want the equipment out there. I want people to,
What I would suggest is, all the filmmakers on island, let them know what you got, because we're always, the thing about it is that a lot of us have our own equipment. So we're going to use our own cameras, we're going to use our own lenses, but every now and then we're going to need a tripod that we don't got, or we're going to add an additional tripod, or, you know, our mic broke, so we need a mic, right?
Is this something that you think is worth it? Someone would tell me about a production hub.
Yes. I mean, well, from an international perspective, that's worth it. Yes.
So is it like if I just have the equipment I want to rent, you think that's worth?
But who are you renting to, though? That's the thing. If you're renting just locally, that's not going to help you.
I'm willing to, if there's someone who's flying in, who they just need, like, as you see, I have enough for a one-man kit.
Right.
They need a one-man kit. I want people to know that it's available.
Yeah, I would try it. I mean, I can't say that it can't help. All I would say is that generally, a lot of times when the crew come to Cayman, they're looking for a specific amount of equipment.
Yeah, that's what I realized.
Rather than just one. Oh, let's get this camera from Jevaughnie, and you know, this, like, they want more of a one-stop shop sort of scenario. That isn't to say that we haven't rented from people before, like one-off things, you know. So that could happen. But I would get in touch with the local crew and let them know. You know, Cottrell and them have their rental studios too, right? Keep creative, so you know that's what they do. They rent, and they shoot net and all that too. I'm just saying maybe that's someone you can talk to as well to increase.
Hey, but that's what I was thinking. That's what your company does. Like, you know, like, your company make all the connects.
I'm happy to connect.
All right, you got the stuff. I can see it on your computer now.
It's legit. There you go. Yeah. So thanks for the reminder on that. You know, and definitely happy to connect everybody in as much as possible. You know, we need to work together. No such thing as an isolated filmmaker. I mean, I guess so. There can be, but you know, the projects that we love working on is usually a big crew. I think we're trailing off here, huh? Yeah. All right. What are you up to? Where are you going? You had lunch before you came here?
No, I did not. I did not have lunch.
Yeah. But this was great. Thanks a lot.
I think I have a meeting after this. I try and finish up some work I said before.
All right, let's log off. It was great.
Thank you.
Thanks for asking me all the questions about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And let's bring you on again soon.
All right, cool.
Later.